Just a few miles away from the Daytona International Speedway, thousands have spent Independence Day at the beach, celebrating the holiday and saluting the nation. Tonight, they bring their excitement and enthusiasm inland to this challenging 2.5-mile track to watch the stars of the Busch Series chase an All-American kid on a great American day. This night is unlike any other. The brightest light in the sky comes from the rocket's red glare. But the stars will shine under the lights of Daytona. Happy birthday, America.
Well, in the city's melted furnace, unexpectedly we watched, and we gazed upon the charms of freedom flash.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. won back-to-back Busch Series titles, and tonight he leads an invasion of veterans ready to take on the proud and powerful drivers of the NASCAR Busch Series. It's our party, and the celebration is about to begin.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot inside.
TNT Sports is live at the Daytona International Speedway to present NASCAR Busch Series Racing. 43 drivers are just minutes away from getting the command to start engines for the 18th race of the Busch season. The man they will be chasing, pole sitter Dale Earnhardt Jr. It is a sun-soaked, flag-waving 4th of July crowd at Daytona, and the fireworks you just saw are only the beginning. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Daytona. I'm Bill Weber, and on behalf of our entire TNT family, to your family, happy 4th of July. We're thrilled to be here for the second half of the Busch season, and along with our partners at NBC Sports, we will take you all the way to the championship in Homestead, Florida in November. Tonight, guys are racing for points, guys are racing for pride, everybody's racing for the purse. The story's out there on pit road. Let's go there now to Marty Snyder.
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been pretty unbeatable so far this season, Bill, especially in the NASCAR Busch Series. I guess the best question for you, juniors, can anyone beat you tonight?
Well, yeah, they can. I mean, we've went into a lot of these races in the later laps and been second and not feeling like we had the car or the chance to win and just pulled ourselves out with some good pit strategy. I think the race is going to be won on pit road myself, but, you know, a lot of these guys got good enough cars. You know, they just going to have to get around us somehow or another.
One here in February, one at Talladega earlier this year, trying to make it 3 for 3 in his last Busch Series start this season. Matt Yoakum.
Marty, Michael Walsh already has a lock on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s bumper, starting first and third on the grid. Michael Jr. says the pit crews could be the biggest factor on your pit stop. Who will decide? What do you think?
I agree, and also when you make it, you know, you're going to have to make a decision. If the caution comes out on lap 30, what do you do then? So we've got a plan, and we feel real confident in our plan. And the T3 Dream Machine that we put together here is really running well, and I'm real proud of all the boys, Bobby Kennedy, for getting me right where I need to be, right behind Dale Jr. to start this race. I know it's not a big secret, but we kind of like hanging out together, and we're going to try to do that for 250 miles tonight and put this little Chevy in victory lane in the Winn-Dixie 250. Welcome back to TNT and all your folks from NBC.
Well, they don't know who's going to win. Macy, quick, who's going to win?
My daddy.
If so, it'll be his first Busch Series win here at Daytona. Dave Burns?
David Green looking for that same honor. He won this championship in 1994. He has a chance to do it again. He is only 45 points ahead, though. And, David, coming to this track, you haven't had the greatest of luck here. Your car qualified back in the pack. Will you be the points leader when this is over?
Well, that's our plan, Dave. You know, this is one of 32, 34 races. I have to give my team an A++ for 16 of the first of the season. And how about that Timberwolf team? They're great, and we'll put our best foot forward here tonight. Our little Pontiac we can work on it during the race here and make it a little bit better. But it's a tough race. We need to miss the big one and hang in there and be there at the end.
And he's done that most every time he's raced here. He's only failed to finish this race 2 times. Bill?
Thanks, Dave. 17 down, 17 to go. The race for the Busch Series Championship truly begins here tonight. Now we take you trackside for the 4th of July pre-race ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats as the U.S. Army 101st Airborne Color Guard presents tonight's colors. On this great occasion of our Declaration of Independence anniversary. And now for tonight's invocation, the Reverend Hal Marshman.
Almighty God, we thank you for this great nation in which we live. And we thank you for the people in the past who have made this a great nation. And we pray that we may remember that you are our God and that we are your children. We thank you for this beautiful place and for the races and for all that go to make it good. And so we invoke your blessings. And we pray knowing that you are our God and we are your children. Shalom and amen.
To perform our national anthem, Amanda McKay and Amanda Meredith from Walled Lake, Michigan, known as Harmony.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave,
Thank you to Harmony, and thanks to the F-18s from the United States Marine Corps, Marine Fighter Attack Squadron 142 Naval Air Station in Atlanta. Please welcome back Mr. Larry Beck as he gives tonight's command.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The field roars to life. 43 drivers, 100 laps, 250 miles, one winner. But two things to watch for. First, the yellow line along the bottom of the racetrack is out of bounds. Here's what the competitors were told in the drivers' meeting just 2 hours ago.
This is your warning, drivers. Race above the yellow line. If in NASCAR's judgment you go below the yellow line to improve your position, you will be black flagged. Also, if in NASCAR's judgment you force someone below the yellow line in an effort to stop them from passing you, you may be black flagged also.
And the key word there is maybe black flag. The second item, there has been a gentleman's agreement in NASCAR that you do not race back to the caution. But in that meeting, Ryan Dehart told the drivers, remember, you are scored at the start-finish line. Getting closer to the green flag, it's my pleasure now to throw it up to three gentlemen with a lot of experience. How much experience? Well, not many people know this, but this is the same play-by-play team that called the midnight ride of Paul Revere. Alan Bestwick, Wally Dallenbach, and Benny Parsons.
All right, Bill, thanks. And we get set for our own nighttime ride here in Daytona. We'll keep a very careful eye on the yellow line and the racing back to the caution flag. They've been much discussed so far this weekend. Well, Benny, you heard Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s interview earlier. What do you think? Can anybody beat him tonight?
Well, he said that someone could, but walking through the Busch garage area, I haven't found anyone that said that they could. All these guys say the 8 car is a car to beat. Joe Nemechek, you would think, has a good shot. After all, his car qualified on the pole for the 300-mile race here in February, but he was unable to drive the car. I was sick on Sunday morning. On Saturday morning, had to put Jeff Green in the car. I talked to him, and he said maybe, but it's all track position. If we can get out in front of Earnhardt, I think I can stay in front of him.
The can anyone beat Dale Earnhardt Jr. was much discussed today, as was the big wreck. Whenever we come to Daytona or Talladega where the restricted engines are used, this is always a fear among the competitors.
You're right, Alan. Back in April here at Talladega, there's 18 cars in this big wreck. And sometimes you think, well, maybe it's inexperience or a mistake that gets you in a situation like this. But this one was a flat tire. You run so close here, so tight in these packs, it doesn't take much. Either a little bad luck or a little mistake, and that's what you can wind up in.
The red, white, and blue celebration at Daytona about to be shaded by a touch of green when we get started with NASCAR Busch Series racing from the beach. Watching NASCAR on TNT. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Daytona International Speedway is brought to you by Stacker 2, the world's strongest fat burner. Burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. By CarQuest Auto Parts, you'll find it at CarQuest. And by Taco Bell, think outside the bun. TNT brings you NASCAR's All-American Independence Weekend celebration. 43 drivers ready to race for the glory of a Daytona victory. And at the halfway point of a NASCAR Busch Series season, the championship almost couldn't be any tighter. Any one of the top 6 drivers in the standings could lead the championship when tonight's race is finished. As the drivers make their way around on the parade and pace laps, why don't we check out the starting lineup for you, let you know who's where. Dale Earnhardt Jr. going to lead the field of the green flag, won his last 3 NASCAR Busch Series restrictor plate races. Michael Waltrip, Joe Nemechek, perhaps Junior's biggest threats tonight. While we look at the rest of the starting lineup, let's hear from Joe.
Joe Nemechek, Benny Parsons up the TNT booth. Got me?
Sir.
Okay, everyone wants to know how you going to beat Junior.
Yeah, hopefully it's going to take some help. You're going to have to be teamed up. He's pretty strong, but don't count out our Cellular One Pontiac here. This car's been pretty tough in the past, and same car we had here last year. I think it could get the job done.
Have you talked to anybody in the top 10 about being a teammate and trying to get by the 8 car?
Hey, I think it's going to come down to the end of the race, track position. You know, what do you do on that last pit stop? And whoever can get out front first, I think, is going to have the advantage.
Well, you had a very good car here in February. You were unable to drive. Maybe you get vindication here in the 250-mile race.
Yeah, we got a little redemption to do here today. I got really sick here in February, and Jeff Green filled in for me, but I think we got an awesome car for tonight.
Well, good luck, Joe. Thanks.
Joe Nemechek going to come from row number 3, trying to repeat his victory of last July here at Daytona. The on-track fireworks begin next. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Getting set to start the NASCAR Busch Series Winn-Dixie 250 at Daytona International Speedway. Happy 4th of July. Glad you're with us. Before we go green, let's check some stories on pit road. Here's Dave Burns.
Alan, at the last restrictor plate race for the Busch Series, Casey Kane also started on the outside of the front row, but he faded back early, and in the early laps was involved in a wreck. This is the same car. They put it back together again. This time, they hope it goes the distance. Matt Yoakum?
Dave, Jason Keller had a streak of 3 straight top 5 finishes on the plate tracks, but it ended here in February with this vicious crash. He was followed by another vicious crash at Talladega in April. They're hoping to rebound. A second and a first coming into Daytona. They feel like they've got a lot of momentum. 5th in points, only 100 markers out of first in the championship standings. They feel like they can make another big push tonight here in Daytona. Marty Snyder?
Matt, the 7 car tonight will be driven not by Randy LaJoie, but Greg Biffle. LaJoie was fired this week under some very controversial circumstances, which breaks a streak of 235 consecutive starts for LaJoie. For Biffle, this is start number 1 in the very car that won here in 2001. Alan?
couple of quick notes. Scott Riggs, one of the championship contenders, going to give up his 13th starting spot, go to the back of the pack because of an engine failure during practice. Also, Derek Cope will go to the back because of an engine problem.
And there we see storylines tonight. Can anyone beat Junior or the ambushers? We're talking about the fellas that come over from NASCAR Winston Cup, Michael Waltrip, Joe Nemechek.
And then we got the yellow line fever. Boy, these guys going to be able to stay above the yellow line today. That's going to be the question.
And 7 drivers will be competing in their first Daytona NASCAR Busch Series race.
In the February Busch Series race here, the winning pass was made on pit road. We'll see if it happens again during tonight's competition. 100 laps around this 2.5-mile track to make up the distance tonight. Great crowd on hand, capping off their Independence Weekend celebration with some NASCAR All-American racing. Glad you joined us on TNT. We're down for the start.
Great. Let's get this party started.
Just had some early fireworks right in the middle of the pack.
A lot of smoke there. I don't know if that was tire smoke or a missed ship smoke. First 7 or 8 guys are single file already.
And that little stack up going on.
And we see the 25 car, Bobby Hamilton Jr. right in the middle of Greg Biffle, Johnny Sauter.
And he's been center punched to the back bumper by someone in that little jam up going into turn 1.
Yeah, he does. He's got a lot of damage on that rear bumper there. Not that I think that'll affect him too much here, but
Junior leads him around at the end of lap 1. Michael Waltrip right behind him in second. Well, we haven't seen that before, have we? Here's the jam up going into turn 1. Watch the 21 car. Because I think that's where that burst of smoke came from that we saw. See, 21 Sauter had to lock up the brakes. I hope he didn't flat spot those tires.
It looked like Bobby may have missed a shift or something because he slowed down a lot in front of Joe Nemechek.
And we wonder what kind of damage that Nemechek might have on the front of the 87 car. But we can see all the damage on the rear bumper cover of Hamilton Jr.'s car.
Well, not only the rear bumper cover, BP, but the left rear fender is all crinkled up, and that will affect him in the draft. See it there?
Yes.
That is not going to help.
Parachute action going there.
It won't be too bad on new tires, but when these cars get some time on the tires, he'll have his hands full.
1-5 single file, then a little space, then another 4-car draft, and a little space, then the big pack we're looking at here. That's from Joe Nemechek on back.
Hey, Davo, how about the 21 car? Did he flat spot those tires?
Well, that's what they were worried about. And so far, but Wally, he has not reported in any vibration or anything that would lead them to believe that. Butch Hilton, the crew chief, was stomping up and down as it happened because he thought that the front end of the 21 car had received damage. But now he knows it has not, and Johnny races on.
Well, the good thing about flat spot or getting on the brakes like that this early in the race is you've got a lot of rubber on your tire. So it really isn't that bad a deal as if you had, 20 laps or 15 laps on the tires. Whoa, what is that? He must have a flat tire. He must have a flat tire because that car just took off up the racetrack.
There you see, we're looking at the 21 car of Johnny Sauter on the racetrack. Not sure exactly who that was, had the problem up in 1 and 2.
Couldn't tell what car it was, so I don't know if he kept going or.
Well, I'm going to go back and take another look at it in a second to see if we can figure that out, but that was a close call. Right now, Johnny Sauter's biggest problem isn't potentially flat-spotted tires. It's the fact that there isn't anybody down in that low lane helping him draft. Now the pack's going to kind of catch up to him from behind. So Dale Earnhardt Jr. is your race leader. Michael Waltrip is second. Mike Bliss is third. Ron Hornaday fourth. Casey Kane is fifth. So the second group is, by staying in line single file, drafted and caught up with that first one now. You've got Brian Vickers, Jason Keller, Stacy Compton, Brad Baker. And now Joe Nemechek trying to pull the group from 10th place off the initial 9. All right, let's go back and take a look at that little shuffle off turn 2 just a second ago.
62 car.
There he is up on the outside wall. Larry Hollenbeck in the 62. I don't know what caused it, if a flat tire or just got loose. The wall kept him in bounds.
Larry out of Kalamazoo, Michigan. He's been around Michigan short track racing in the ARCA series several times, but this is his Daytona Super Speedway debut.
Well, obviously doesn't have a flat tire. He would have come in, so he may have just got up in the garbage right up there real close to the wall and got the car loose. There's a lot of rubber and dirt real close to that wall, so maybe that's what happened.
Gotten a good Daytona rookie lesson. So Hollenbeck soldiers on in 31st position. Wow, and bottoming out heavily too.
The bottom of the race car hitting the racetrack. That's the sparks that you saw from underneath the 62 car. Gearhart in the white 55 car.
Hey, that thing's hitting the racetrack hard.
It really is hitting hard. That might have been what caused him to get the car out of shape down in 1 and 2. Back to Junior, and they're all lined up behind him, but doesn't seem like that anyone has the speed to try to go by.
Well, with Michael Waltrip behind him, the motivation to go by this early in the race is probably not there either. Just underway at Daytona, NASCAR Busch Series racing on TNT. Earnhardt Jr. is the early leader. Sultry summer evening in Daytona Beach, Florida, as we check our Wendy's race menu. Tomorrow, our NASCAR preview show, NBC at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, and then coverage of the Pepsi 400 at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, starting with Discover Card Countdown to Green. Chicago, Loudon, 20 straight weeks of racing to crown NASCAR champions on NBC and TNT.
Sultry.
Isn't that a nice word there?
Very nice.
Appropriate description?
Humid would be what I use.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has led all of the 11 laps completed so far, working lap 12 now.
These cars look like they're sliding around a lot.
Boy, they look like there are a handful out there. Right now we have an 8-car breakaway. There's 9th, 10th. The 9th place car, Mike McLaughlin in 34, Todd Bodine, 10th and 92. And there comes David Green, the NASCAR Busch Series points leader.
The guy sliding backwards in that group is that blue car with the bright orange lower bumper on the outside, Jason Keller, the 57. Keller started in 11th position, picked up a couple on the start, but now he's been being shuffled backwards from 7th spot, now down to 11th. And maybe more. Keller, the winner of the Busch Series race last Sunday, up on the mile oval in Milwaukee. Matt Yoakum, what you got?
Alan, before the race, Kevin Bono Mannion, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s crew chief, and Bobby Kennedy, Michael's crew chief, were on pit road discussing their pit stop strategy. They've already decided the fact they're going to take on only 2 tires, and they're in the window from lap 52 to 56 of when they are going to want to pit. But they also have their 2 spotters up on top of the spotter stand, side by side, Joel Edmonds and Ty Norris, to help decide when they're going to pit. This race could very well be won on pit road and not on the racetrack. Whether it's the Dream Machines pit crew or Dale Jr.'s who wins the battle off pit road could decide who goes to victory lane. Today,
Matt, right now, Joe Nemechek's car is running just a little bit warm. That damage that he had from running into the back of Bobby Hamilton Jr. is not affecting him too badly as far as the handling goes. Right now, they're trying to figure out on a pit stop if they're going to come in and put just tape on the car or if they're going to put an aluminum patch on there. They're hoping to get a little bit better look at the car every once in a while when we show it on TV and make that decision.
Well, it doesn't look like a lot of damage to the 87 car.
Dave, if they were going to put tape on, is the car getting hot? You said the car was getting hot, right?
Dave, yeah, that's right, Wally. He did report in that the car's getting a little hot. Obviously, putting that over that's not going to help that situation. It'll hurt it.
That's what I was wondering. Why would they put tape on it if it was getting warm?
Yeah, just to the right of the center of the hood, The grill is knocked in a little bit on the 87 car.
Looking back at the 87 now from Casey Kane's rear bumper camera.
But if it made a bigger hole in the grill, it may have affected the hand a little bit. So they may want to put that tape on and get some more downforce on the front of that car.
Another look at it. Scott Wimmer running in 15th. He's probably going to catch his breath right here.
That's Brad Baker in the 28 car that goes up and just touches the left rear. And wow, what a great job Wimmer did saving that automobile.
That was a good save. Very good save. And there's another example I was saying. These cars are sliding up the racetrack in a big four-wheel drift, it looks like.
So Wimmer hangs on and only loses a couple of spots in that exchange. That's how the big wreck starts.
Yeah,
sometimes. Junior and Waltrip not unexpected at the head of the line. Here's Ron Hornaday with a bid on Mike Bliss for third spot. 15 laps in at Daytona. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Squadron 142.
Show on television, and riveting. Television's best new series is now on TNT. Boomtown, Mondays at 10, only on TNT.
Hope you're enjoying your Independence Day. NASCAR on TNT from Daytona Beach, Florida. NASCAR Busch Series 250-miler tonight. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has led all of the 19 laps completed so far. Michael Waltrip, Ron Hornaday, Brian Vickers, Casey Kane right up behind him. On back through, Greg Biffle, Mike Bliss, Mike McLaughlin, then a gap back to a second pack where they've had a couple of anxious moments.
Well, this group here, they finally have gotten themselves in line, but we see Jason Killer alongside Ashton Lewis and Scott Riggs. Scott Riggs had to start at the rear of the field, and he's worked his way up to the 20th position.
Riggs coming into the race second in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship, 45 points behind David Green. David running in 11th now. And as Benny said, Riggs back in 20th.
And that's the 80 car behind those two is Chase Montgomery in his own vehicle. Young man.
How young, you ask? How about 19?
Very young man.
And looks it, too. That is a baby-faced race driver. Check the interval up to the lead pack. Here's the middle pack. It's Mike McLaughlin in 34. Todd Bodine, he's made a nice move on the start, up to 10th. And David Green, the championship leader, aforementioned, he's in the 37 car.
And he started back in 22nd. David Green has worked his way up to 11th.
That three group needs a few more cars to help them catch that front group.
David Green's looking good tonight.
He's radioed into his crew that the car is just a little bit free and that maybe the 34 car is holding him up a little bit. I can't imagine that.
And free would be a little bit loose.
Back in, swinging out farther to the right than it's supposed to.
Yeah. Now that back group is starting to catch them, and that'll help push these guys up into that first group a little bit. Although when he gets somebody behind him in the 37 car, that'll get a little bit more free.
So that's 9th, 10th, and 11th there. We look farther ahead to the top 8. And there's the gap. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip doing their formation flying around the Daytona International Speedway. 22 laps in to the 100 that make up tonight's race. Here's our Stacker 2 race fact. If Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to win tonight after starting on pole, he will defy statistical history in Busch Series competition at Daytona.
That is an amazing fact. You'd think that 20-25% of the pole winners were going to win the race. But not so in the NASCAR Busch Series race at Daytona.
The fastest car doesn't always win.
See that.
Let's talk about some pit strategy and handling and other such things where the leaders are concerned. Marty?
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s kept it out front for 27 laps so far, Alan. Radioed in early on, said it's a little bit tight. Radioed in about 10 laps later, said it's a little loose now. And then he radioed in just a few moments ago, said now it's a little too free. You see Jr. moving up the racetrack just a little bit. That is per request of his teammate Michael Waltrip, where Matt Yoakum is right now.
Marty, that's exactly right. Michael said his car was snug. Told his spotter Joel Edmonds, please ask Ty Norris, tell Dale Jr. at least to go up half a lane. Remember last year at Talladega, he made the same request in the Winston Cup race. Jr. said, I'm running where I want to run, but today he said, I will try it. I don't know how it will make my car react, but we'll give it a go.
Well, he was on the bottom of the racetrack down in 3 and 4, so he must not have liked it too well when he moved up.
Yeah, what he's trying to do, he's trying to stay in Dale's air. If the car's pushing, he's going to be up the racetrack when Dale's down at the bottom of the racetrack, and he's going to lose that draft. So you ask Dale to move up the racetrack to try to stay in that draft.
Very good point.
Over 50 miles complete here at Daytona. Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s led them all so far. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Experience NASCAR Winston Cup Series races like never before with NASCAR In Demand. Order the digital sports package at 1-888-SPORTS-IN today. Riding with Jason Keller, last weekend's winner at Milwaukee. His race is not going as planned right now.
No, he's going the wrong way. He's back in the 21st position, started 11th. Has lost 10 spots. And David Green, who was so well, was up in the 11th spot just a moment ago, he's fallen back to 20th, right in front of Jason Keller.
A couple of guys whose handling is going south here as they put some more laps in this long green run to start the race. Jason Keller, we get a report on him from Matt.
He's dropped all the way back to 21st down. Basically, he says the car is just way too tight. It's bogging down the motors off the corner that's just killing him. That's why he's fading so quickly. A lot of momentum coming into this race, hoping to make a big gain in the points, but you never can tell. This race has a lot of dramatic endings. Maybe we'll have another one tonight. Today.
The 37 of David Green, guys. He radioed in and told his guys that it was sliding the nose on the exit of the corner. So as he turns the wheel, it still wants to go straight toward the wall.
You know, looked like the 57 car BP may be tight in or at the center, because he goes in, he drifts up the middle, not to hold the wheel to try to fog the car down, and then kind of diamonds it.
Yeah, he's trying to use the bank to make the car going around the corner so he doesn't have to put so much wheel into it. Last night during Winston Cup qualifying, we saw Ricky Rudd come off turn 4. The car picked up that slide, that push in the front end, and the speed just dropped considerably on that 21 car. And that's what happens as you come off the corner. If you got to put a lot of wheel into it, this kills the speed.
Watch
down
your
the
RPMs go down.
As mentioned, that David Keith, Brad Teague, and Jeff Fuller have taken their cars to the garage area with mechanical problems early in this race. And Larry Hollenbeck, who we saw have a moment off turn 2 in the early laps, just came down pit road for some fresh tires. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads. Pit stops coming up soon. NASCAR on TNT from Daytona International Speedway. The NASCAR Busch Series running the Winn-Dixie 250 tonight. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads. You can also follow this weekend's racing live online with NASCAR.com's free track pass weekend. For more information, just log on to NASCAR.com.
On board with Casey Kane, currently running in 5th position. That's 4th. Brian Vickers directly in front of him. These guys are about 1.25 seconds behind that fellow on the left, Dale Earnhardt Jr.
And he is starting to spread that opening group out just a little bit. What are we thinking pit strategy-wise, Marty?
Well, that's Kevin Mannion, the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr. What are you thinking pit strategy-wise? When will you come down pit road, Kevin?
Well, it looks like right now we're going to come down right at halfway. The weather looks a little iffy, but we just looked at the radar and it looks good, so halfway.
Are you planning some strategy with some guys? Who will you pit with?
Well, just that lead group. It looks like 7 or 8 of us in there. A couple of them have come down. Halfway is a safe bet for everyone, so we'll go with that.
One of the few concerns for the team was the weather. They actually looked it up on the internet right behind the pit box. Matt?
The weather there is a concern here for Michael Waltrip. Seen Bobby Kennedy. Has that forced your hand on when you are going to pit now?
Yeah, we're looking at coming a little bit different than when originally planned, just because of the weather. But still, us and the 8, we're going to stay together. And right now, we're going to at least get past halfway before we come.
Still the 2-tire strategy?
It's hard to say. Our car's not handling perfect, and we got to take that much fuel, so it might be 4.
Alan?
And don't forget, folks, these cars use a 22-gallon gas tank, not the small 13-gallon tank that the Winston Cup cars use. So, yes, they will put 2 full cans in these cars.
But, well, you'd think if the weather is coming, I wouldn't. They're talking about putting 4 tires on. There'll probably some guys that are definitely going to take 2 tires, but I don't know about this weather. I don't know how close the weather is.
Yeah, talking about the weather in Florida in the summertime, you get a shower pop up and move across the radar quickly, and it can also dissipate quickly. So crew chief's keeping a concerned eye on that. And remember the NASCAR rule, once the leader has completed half the scheduled distance, if the race is stopped, it might not get restarted. Junior leads pit stops shortly. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Daytona International Speedway. Brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer, an easy drinking Busch Light. Trouble in turn 4. Caution is out, there's a crash.
And Mike Bliss goes down pit road, hits pit wall. The crew scramble around, but no one was making a pit stop.
Mike Bliss was running 7th at the time of the crash.
And maybe Larry Hollenbeck was the other car involved.
See Mike moving around in the car. He's already dropped the window net, removed the steering wheel.
All right, you still want to say it? We'll say that same deal there, Mikey.
Sound like Bobby Kennedy talking to his driver, Michael Waltrip.
So caution is out for the first time, just past 100 miles in the race. Mike Bliss started 5th in the race. He's going to have a very poor finish as he unstraps.
Yeah, there's Larry Hollenbeck in the 62 car going around and around, and I don't know what caused, unless Bliss had backed off to avoid the spinning car and someone hit him in the back. Well, thank goodness no one's making a pit stop.
Oh, Hollenbeck got loose and
got into Bliss as he was going by to put him a lap down.
That would explain the apparent anger with which Mike tossed the steering wheel onto the dashboard when we were looking at him a second ago.
Well, that's unusual to get taken out like that.
Watch these crews scramble. I don't blame them.
You know, there's kind of a rule at the racetrack. Never look away from the race cars.
I think they're exchanging recipes there.
I guess he's telling the Busch official that should do something about the 62 car would be my guess.
Mike running 6th at the time of the crash. He's going to finish probably 39th or 40th from the way things are shaking up here. Pit road closed because of where Mike Bliss's car has come to rest, so it'll be a few more laps before we see the pit stops. Let's take a break here. You're watching NASCAR on TNT.
Stops underway here in Daytona. Michael Waltrip in the 2nd place car. An air pressure adjustment and a wedge adjustment expected for Michael. His car was tight. There goes the wedge adjustment. Meanwhile, Ron Hornaday, a 4-tire change here. His car was loose. They're going to make an air pressure adjustment, Marty.
Matt Dale Earnhardt Jr. has a loose race car, but they are not going to make any chassis adjustments. They'll make a 2-tire stop. They debated on an air pressure adjustment, decided not to do it, Dave.
They changed 4 tires on Joe Nemechek's car. It was very loose. They raised the track bar, which would have made it looser, but that was to compensate for the patch on the front of the car, which is below the air intake, which allows the engine to remain cool. So hopefully they've solved all their problems in this one pit stop.
Boy, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip's pit crews did it attaboy, BP. They were good pit stops.
They were good pit stops.
3.5 seconds faster than Hornaday's.
I'm surprised they only changed, but they only changed 2, and Hornaday changed 4.
Yeah.
So Hornaday might have an
That
advantage.
may be the attaboy.
That might be the attaboy.
Yeah, had to wait on filling up the fuel tank. The 8 and the 99. set the running order for you when we come back under caution at Daytona. At Daytona International Speedway, NASCAR on TNT with the NASCAR Busch Series July 4th celebration. Under caution for the first time in the race after Mike Bliss got tangled up with a lap car off turn 4. The leaders have just finished pit stops.
Yeah, we're watching 99 when he comes in. This is just a disadvantage of just changing 2 tires sometimes, BP, because 99 gets in and is pit stop great. He's real aggressive, but he locks the front tire. Now, if he locked the left front tire, the tire that they did not change, that tire may have a little bit of a flat spot on it.
And he would pick up a vibration, and if it is flat spotted, it eventually will blow out.
How about Dale Jr.'s pit stop? Listen and watch.
Get the right front tire and look at it, see if I flat spotted it coming into the pits. Just look at it real good, real good.
See, the left front's locked.
He did lock the left front, so there's a good chance that Michael did as well.
Earnhardt Jr. off pit road first. Marty?
Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. very explicit on the radio. Wanted to know if you flat spotted the tires. Are you concerned? Did you see anything on the left front? Or the right front, sorry.
The right front had a little wear in it from sliding in, but left front tire has a little more weight on it, but I think it'll be fine.
And he radioed in and also said, feels like the front shocks or something's wrong there. What could that be, possibly?
I think what it is, the chassis is just a little bit tight, and it's just he panics about a few things and makes me worry anyhow, but I'm not too worried. He'll be fine.
That's why these crew chiefs get paid big money, because they get to worry the whole night long, Dave Burns.
And Joe Nemechek's guys get paid big money because they came in and did a second pit stop during this round. They opened up the hood, they opened up the radiator box, reached in and pounded out the front grille just a little bit. They were penalized on pit road for having an 8th man over the wall. That's one too many, but it didn't matter because they were under caution.
Looks like they've done a pretty good job repairing the grill area on that 87 car.
Those pit stops came with 56 laps to go, so everybody in theory is good to go to the finish on fuel from there.
That would be my guess, that we will not see these cars back on pit road unless there's just something terribly wrong with the chassis or a flat tire or something like that.
Yeah, that 2 car is looking, I think, pretty good, sitting there with 4 brand new tires on right now after seeing those pit stops.
And the 2 car was really good. Talking about Ron Hornaday, he was running 3rd when all this started, and he had closed up, had caught these guys, so everything's looking pretty good. Started 7th.
Making his 100th NASCAR Busch Series start tonight is Ron Hornaday. Dale Earnhardt Jr. leads. Michael Waltrip 2nd, Ron Hornaday 3rd, Casey Kane 4th, Brian Vickers 5th, followed by Greg Biffle, Jamie McMurray, Todd Bodine, Mike Wallace, and Shane Meal. Earnhardt, the first one a lap down in 26th position, trying to get back around Dale Jr. without much success. Matt, got to follow up on Michael Waltrip for us.
Well, concerning fuel, Bobby Kennedy told Mark Parrish, the gas man, to make sure he packed the fuel cell full as long as he could, but they should be good to go on fuel. And Ron Hornaday's team, Alan, they didn't really want to over-adjust that car. That's why they made the slight air pressure adjustment to try to fix the car. He said it just felt like it was floating the nose a little.
Well, so much for all the cars in a line, right, Wally? We're back after caution flag, and it's side by side again.
A couple of things. Mike Bliss checked and released from the Infield Medical Center. And Joe Nemechek was assessed a penalty for too many men over the wall on his recent stop. Dave?
Well, Mike Bliss's guys are working on his car. Are you going to get back in this thing?
I don't know. They're going to do all they can. We've had so many DNFs lately. It's just pitiful. But we had a fast race car out there. That thing, we got skunked by Hornaday, and we had a fast car. I think it was handling great, and these lap guys are crazy. I'm telling you, they are crazy. You don't know where in the heck they're going to be. Go to the outside of the guy, give him 3/4 of the lane in the bottom, and I get hit in the left rear. I don't understand. If I'm running around there trying to stay out of the way, I'm going to give the guys lanes. They're not doing it. It's just crazy.
All right. Mike looks like he may get back in. He was working with Joe Nemechek to try to get his car in front. He actually did pass him, and they were going to work together to try to catch that lead pack. Now it's for naught.
Yeah, Bliss is a little upset. We could see that when he was yelling to Nat, the Busch Series official down there, telling him about the lap cars.
It's been an issue throughout a lot of the NASCAR Busch Series season. In some of the tougher economic times, maybe some of the cars at the back of the field are not of the quality that they were when times were better and sponsorships were more available. The experience level of some of those drivers perhaps not what it was either. And the front-running drivers have been critical at times of some of these drivers and their behavior on the track.
I agree, but these guys got to learn someplace. And, you know, when they don't have 38 to 39 cars, they can bring a car down and run Daytona. So that's when I came down here for the first time. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, but I somehow survived. Hey, these guys are putting a little heat on Junior right now.
It looks like it. Looks like they're taking a look.
This is on board with Casey Kane. He's currently in fourth. 38 car. He started on the outside pole.
There you got Hornadays. I think Hornadays going to take a run at these guys if he can get some help behind him. If Casey will stick with him.
Hey, how about Jamie McMurray up on the outside? Drives up on the outside of Casey Kane. Biffle decides to go with him, and here comes Todd Bodine on the bottom of the racetrack.
That's McMurray in the one car for James Finch, team owner out of Panama City Beach, Florida, whose equipment always runs well.
3 wide. Mike Wallace takes a look.
Boy, Mike Wallace in that car. He can find a way to the front on it at a super speedway.
Brian Vickers had his hands full there. He bounced all over the place.
Still 3 wide.
Now we get back to it.
Casey Kane trying to break away from the side of Jamie McMurray.
Damon Lusk and that 6 cars in the top 10 right now. Hanging in there.
Tommy Baldwin Racing entry.
Oh, Biffle almost got the wall on that Kleenex car off turn 4.
Boy, that is tight right there.
That's 4th and 5th between the 38 and the 1. And everything stacked up behind him. On forward, Greg Biffle.
Is that the 5 car? He's looking back at Brian Vickers. Oh, close to that wall. Now that was Damon Lusk is right behind Greg Biffle. The blue car with the red front bumper.
Damon Lusk, a 25-year-old out of Kennewick, Washington. Came up through the NASCAR Southwest Series, one of the NASCAR touring divisions. Ran a couple of ARCA seasons part-time. Started in NASCAR Busch Series racing, sharing a car with Wally. Yeah. Last year, Tommy Baldwin Racing.
He's doing a good job right now.
And Damon works on the car during the week. He's a mechanic as well as a driver.
Just past halfway here at Daytona Beach. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has led all of the laps so far. Can Ron Hornaday use the extra fresh tires and mount a charge? We'll find out when we come back to the beach. NASCAR Busch Series Racing from Daytona International Speedway is brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and Easy Drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. By Wagner Quick Touch Power Roller. Professional results fast. By Lara Croft Tomb Raider Cradle of Life in theaters July 25th, rated PG. And by Mobil 1, the official motor oil of NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip, first and second as they have been through the entirety of this race so far, but they are mixing it up hot and heavy from third on back as Jamie McMurray and Greg Biffle try and make a push toward the front of the pack.
And McMurray's showing a little bit of muscle here.
McMurray in the 1, Biffle in the 7. It's Ron Hornaday in the 2 they're working on. Bill Weber's down at the wagon. He's got company.
Thank you, Alan. Enjoying the race with Kurt Busch, who starts 31st in the Pepsi 400 tomorrow. You watching this as a fan or a driver?
Tonight we're a fan, just hanging out. I mean, it's a great scene to watch these cars at night. And my little brother races in the Busch Series. We're more of a spectator than. Yeah, so it's interesting watching the 2-tire versus 4-tire.
What do you think?
I think Hornaday had the upper hand. What it looks like is you see the cars, they're dicing back and forth to try to see who's going to position themselves to run at the 8 and the 99. What they need to do is work on getting those two out of there so then they can race each other.
That's hard to do, though. Those guys are strong.
It seems like they have a superior car all the time.
How about locking up that right front versus the left?
I would say that the left front is going to be a little bit harder to lock up because you're turning to the right at that point on pit road. So it is a concern, but I'd have to say the upper hand is in a Hornaday spot right now.
Some of these cars have been all over the place tonight.
Yeah, it's this track. I mean, the heat here has been intense all week. But with a Busch car, the draft is less violent than what it is with the Cup car. So we'd have to take 4 tires. There would really be no option. But I think tomorrow night you're going to see 2-tire, 4-tire scramble. It'll be interesting.
Are you going to see anybody catch those Chevys at the front of the field tomorrow night?
I'm going to be the first Ford up there rowing my boat and see what we can do. It's a fun racetrack to drive, and I think tomorrow night it's really going to be a neat race because of the fact of how handling, I think, is going to be a bit more at the forefront than what it's normally been.
You think so?
I think so. Because it shakes up just because of the heat. And there's going to be a lot of teams going with 2 tires and seeing if they can handle out there.
Some wild action, huh, Wally?
Yeah, sorry, guys.
That's okay, man. We got to cover them out there.
Loose off the 4 there.
It looks just like they need to get back in line to catch up with the 8 and 99. But, you know, a lot of young drivers that want to get up to the front and show their mark. It's a good race.
I remember Kurt Busch was that young guy trying to make his mark. Don't you, Bill?
I sure do.
It's been fun. Like Damon Lusk, we were talking about him earlier. Southwest Series, I mean, just boom, boom, and the next thing you know, you're at Daytona. I mean, it's a wonderful treat to try to come out and compete with the best of the best, the veterans. And you know Dale Jr. and Michael Waltrip are the ones to beat when you come to Daytona.
Hey, Weber, we saw Kurt Busch and Damon Lusk in Tucson in winter heat.
That's right. And we were just out in Vegas a couple of weeks ago with Kurt, reminiscing about that for a piece we're going to do later in the year. Those you started on that small track at Las Vegas. You really got some good laps in Tucson and worked your way right up, didn't you?
It's a challenge. I mean, just the way that NASCAR has set up a stepladder system, it's really unique. They've got over 12 different divisions, all the different regional touring series, and of course, getting my break in the truck series with Jack Roush to run. First time I ever showed up here, I didn't know what to do. I just held my foot on the floor and ended up finishing second.
And guys, was he excited in that truck race here, the first? Kurt, you were very exciting.
It was neat. I mean, just the whole Daytona theme. I mean, I was here when I was 7 years old looking at the banking, and you get an appreciation for the place once you finally drive it. It's intimidating, that's to say the least.
And you never lose it. I mean, I don't care how many times you run here, when you run this place, it's like, man, this is cool. This place is cool.
You get that grin on your face.
It's just awesome walking in, isn't it?
It is.
Well, you got to come from 31st tomorrow. You think you can do it?
I'm watching Nemechek right now. You know, I'm a little biased to Nemechek. He's my little brother's car owner in the series. He's working his way up. He's been having to dig out of that little hole that came in to repair the nose. He's making headway.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate your time. Best of luck tomorrow.
All right, guys.
Kurt Busch does start 31st tomorrow. Steve Park and Kevin Harvick will lead him to the green flag in the Pepsi 400. And our coverage will begin at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC Sports with the Discover Card Countdown to the Green, followed by the Pepsi 400. And remember, if you miss the countdown, you start the race a lap down. Our thanks to Kurt Busch. Back up the stairs to Alan.
All right, Bill, watching David Green, the championship leader in the NASCAR Busch Series, try and work his way back to the front. Went to the front, toward the front at the start of the race, fell back. Now after the pit stops, he's picked his way back forward in 16th position now. And there are the leaders, as they have been for the distance so far. Dale Jr., Michael Waltrip, and Ron Hornaday, 1, 2, and 3. 62 of 100 laps are complete here at Daytona. You can follow this weekend's racing action live online with NASCAR.com's free Track Pass weekend. I said free. For more information, visit NASCAR.com.
Free, that's an unusual word. Free as in it's free, not loose.
Free as in it costs you nothing.
Costs you nothing.
Daytona International Speedway. Happy July 4th. NASCAR on TNT, watching Dale Earnhardt Jr. dominate so far. Tonight's 250-miler. We are just past the 150-mile mark. And Junior's led them all so far.
Yep, these guys are going to have to do something, BP, if they're going to be in they lost their chance of getting in front during the pit stop. And they better not wait till 5 to go, or they're going to waste their time on that one.
All right, we've had a chance to crack the knuckles and get the fingers loose, and it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to put our pit reporters to work. It's time for Through the Field. All right. Crack the whip and get an update on the field. Where are we starting down on pit road? Marty, how about you?
Just don't crack that whip too hard, Alan. 34 laps to go in the race, 66 laps in the books. And Dale Earnhardt Jr., that 8 car, has led every single one of these laps. In fact, in his last two races here, he's led 126 of 240 laps. The car is very good, Matt.
The questions, though, for Michael Waltrip and his team, the weather and the 4 tires of Ron Hornaday. Michael says the car is great. They're riding. The biggest concern when they need to make their move. Meanwhile, Ron Hornaday's team, they can't believe other people didn't try the 4-tire deal. They're just riding, going to save their stuff until the end. When the 99 and 8 tires are worn out, Dave, they feel like they're going to make their move then.
Matt, Jimmy McMurray's car has run great everywhere all day. It was a little bit loose in, a little bit tight off near the end of that first run, but not bad. They made a 4-tire change, changed the air pressure just a little. Marty?
Dave, Greg Biffle's doing a great job in that 7 car up in the 5th position, running very good. He said he likes the top line. Problem is, he can't find anybody else who does like that top line, Matt.
Young Casey Kane making his 4th restrictor plate start. Remember back in Daytona in February, finished 8th. Had not the greatest of race at Talladega, but coming back here, running in the top 5, just learning today, Marty.
Mike Wallace back in the 7th position, took 4 tires on the last stop, made no adjustments, has said nothing about the car, biding his time. Mike Wallace is an excellent drafter. Remember, he finished 4th here in the race Busch Series race in February. Todd Bodine right behind him, very happy with his race car. His crew chief, Tony Liberati, said, "You're awesome. The changes were great." Todd said, "This car will absolutely drive," Dave.
Marty, after that initial scare on the opening lap where he locked up the tires, Johnny Sauter's car has run pretty well. A little bit loose in, a little bit tight off the corner. They made a wedge adjustment and an air pressure adjustment. The last stop as Casey Kane spins.
6th place runner in trouble.
Whoa, don't go that way. Hey, I'll tell you what.
Come on.
Oh, no. He had everything was under control till that last little bit. He makes contact with the outside retaining wall. So everybody behind him did a good job avoiding that again.
Caution's out, 2nd time in the race, 32 laps to go.
Get back up on the asphalt. Just take your time. Don't knock the fenders off of it.
And the 6th place runner in trouble off turn 2.
I don't think they had to worry much about the fenders being knocked off.
Okay, just easy now. Got some flats there. Knocked the fenders completely off.
Casey started 2nd tonight. He also started 2nd in the Talladega race back in April. Got caught in a big early wreck. Only finished 8 laps.
Got loose. As soon as he got loose, he went up the track. It sucked me right with him. I got off the gas and everything, and it just carried right into his door.
All right, well, let's find out who he was.
Is that Biffle? I think that's Greg Biffle in the 7 car. And watch this. He goes up, and a car barely gets by, and he just makes a little contact with the rear. It's okay. He's going forward, but Wally, he stood on it too quickly.
Yes, you're right.
The wheels were not straight, and he stood on the accelerator and drove it in the wall.
You're right.
And then did the same thing again and drove it back across the track again in front of everybody.
I think what he was talking about is that I can't really get it there, but the 7 car Biffle, like he said, got loose, and he was real close to the 7 car. Sucked the rear of the car around.
And look at those guys going by in the grass on the racetrack. And watch this thing shoot back across the racetrack. And the block and all. And then watch it here. He nails the gas to go again, but the wheels were not straight.
Got behind on the steering.
Pit stops under this caution. The front few stay on track. 6th, make it 5th place. Greg Biffle on down is in. Marty?
And they did indeed make a little bit of contact with Casey Kane. That is the thought. They do make a wedge adjustment on the car, or make that a track bar adjustment rather. They're going to change 4 tires. They wanted to check the body, make sure there was no real damage. Does not appear to be any real damage on Greg Biffle's car.
Little trouble there in left rear.
Yep.
Yeah, that cost him a few spots.
So now you got some tires with some real, or some cars with some real fresh tires on them compared to a couple of guys up front.
Dale Jr., Michael Waltrip, Ron Hornaday, Jamie McMurray, they do not pit. They stay on track and hold down the top 4 spots. We're under caution with 30 laps to go here at Daytona, under yellow after Greg Biffle got loose and Casey Kane went for a wild ride.
Put the brakes on, hold the brakes on.
Oh, man.
Come on, come on, come on. Keep it going.
The Winn-Dixie 250 for the NASCAR Busch Series from Daytona International Speedway on Independence Day, under caution for its second time with 29 laps to go, and now much discussion about the restart.
Well, Earnhardt Jr. and Waltrip want to stay in front on this restart. And folks, here's the line. That's the restart is in the vicinity of that line. And Earnhardt Jr. is the guy that starts the race. When he breaks, the flagman waves the green flag. So he's kind of got the hammer, but he can't do it too soon. He can't do it back in the area here because NASCAR will black flag him for that.
Ron Hornaday pretty much acknowledged as being the best driver on the circuit on restarts. He just seems to get them better than people.
But it's a little bit tougher here because normally these guys are right up against the wall, so it doesn't give Ron anywhere to go, and the cars take so long to accelerate. It's a little bit tough. I'm not saying you can't do it, but Michael and Dale will have those right doors right up against the wall on the restart.
And remember, you have to pass on the right before the start-finish line.
Yeah.
Marty.
Well, Alan, the double concern is that on the last restart, Ron Hornaday laid back, which allows him to build up momentum, therefore being able to pass Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip. So what Dale Jr. did, he said, hey, Michael, what we're going to do is I will signal you. That's when we'll start. We'll run our race. We'll let Ron run his race. Matt?
And Marty, the 2 team heard that conversation. They told Ron Hornaday, keep an eye on Michael Waltrip. He'll do a 1, 2, 3, and then they will go. Michael's team, though, says he's just as concerned about the 2 because they heard on the radio that the 2 and the 21 are going to try to team up and go up high because they are teammates. It's just one big chess game down here on pit road and on the racetrack.
9 cars did not pit on this caution. Earnhardt Jr., Waltrip, Hornaday, McMurray, Sauter, Vickers, Lewis, Green, and Montgomery. There's the restart line.
Somewhere in the area. Now, it's not specifically at that spot, but somewhere around there. All right, the pace car is coming down. He's off the racetrack. Okay, anywhere. Junior can start anywhere now, and he's on it.
Looks like Jamie McMurray laid back a little bit.
And Hornaday got a great start, but unfortunately, Kerry Earnhardt in the 12 car was down there. But Hornaday's going to try it on the outside, but with no one to help him.
Well, I think that 1 car is going to catch him pretty quick. If they stay in line.
Hornaday does not have any help right now.
They need to stay in line. These guys need to stay on the outside.
Look at Junior move to the inside to give Michael the draft. And here comes Jamie McMurray to help Ron Hornaday.
And Kerry Earnhardt right behind him. And Michael has no one now. There's no one with Michael.
Now me and Jamie will come down with Michael. We'll be fine here.
And Hornaday goes to second spot.
Oh, that's a lot of work to pick up 1 spot.
Yes, it is.
So Ron Hornaday to second, separating Earnhardt Jr. and Michael Waltrip for the first time all race.
Now Ron's going to find out whose friends are.
Oh, some trouble.
Big hit there.
What? They didn't crash 6 cars? How is that possible?
There's been a lot of bullets dodged tonight.
I can't believe that.
May not be done yet. Hang on.
Hey, look at Michael going back by Hornaday on the outside. Is his car that strong?
Well, obviously he may have showed his hand right there.
Yeah.
He did that without any help.
Yes.
That's got to leave you feeling pretty hopeless if you're Hornaday.
Yeah, really.
All right, let's go back and check out what happened on that restart. Heading down towards turn 1. Right in the middle of the screen.
right. I can't tell who that is, but
Kevin, 26 car is Kevin Grubb, the maroon car.
That's the 30 car, I believe, of Lance Norrick. Wrong racing car.
And Lance is on pit road now, coming to his stop.
Who was that turned to? Was that Bobby Hamilton?
That was 26, Kevin Grubb.
Oh, Grubb, okay.
There's see Norrick, and we see the damage to the right side.
And you can see right there in the right rear part of the bumper, that's where he got touched by Kevin Grubb.
First guy to get tires in the running order is Todd Bodine. He's moved up to 9th. He's in the 92 car. That's the white one that just went out of the screen, picture right. This is behind him. Double wide, David Green 37, Mike McLaughlin 34. Green is the championship leader in the green and blue machine, the inside lane. Squeeze.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And Kerry Earnhardt makes an unscheduled stop. As we watch this action.
He cut down the tire. Remember when he was in the middle of the leaders and then went way up high in turn 3? He ran over some of the junk. Boy, that was why he went way up high. Jr. and Michael Waltrip fend off the restart challenge from Ron Hornaday and hang on to the top spot. 23 laps to go here in Daytona.
Buckle up. Let me drive. And don't quit. Don't make it funny. TNT's bringing you Days of Thunder. See Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder next after NASCAR on TNT.
Who stars in this movie, Alan?
Tom Cruise.
And leading lady?
Nicole Kidman.
Very good.
Thank you.
I knew it was his favorite movie.
You know, I just cannot wait for somebody else to make a mistake on this broadcast so I can get this monkey off my back. You people have been beating me up about this all day.
He'll be waiting a long time, isn't he, BP?
19 to go here at Daytona. Just inside the final 50 miles of this one, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. has led them all so far. Last driver to lead every lap in a NASCAR Busch Series race. Happened last spring, Jeff Burton at Darlington. The Jr. has been so dominant in the races he's run in 2003. Here at Daytona back in February, led 67 of 120 laps in that race. Talladega in April led 60 of 117. And he's 82 for 82 so far tonight.
I think Hornaday's probably starting to get a little bit frustrated right now. Coach has got 18 laps to go. Trying to look back, see who's going to work with him. How about it, Matt?
He is a little frustrated, Wally. The problem is he can pull up easily on Michael Waltrip. He was hoping that the 1 and the 21 would be able to go with him. The problem, they can only get so close to help push, and then it's like they hit a big brick wall of air. They can only get so far, and then they start to backpedal. He's just hoping, Marty, that he doesn't lose the position he's in now, so he can at least try to make a run on Michael.
And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is trying to help out his teammate Michael Waltrip. He sees all that happening in the mirror, has a little bit better car than Michael does. He asks the spotter Ty Norris, let me know what I can do to help Michael out, because he wants him to pull away from Hornaday. Michael radioed back, there's nothing you can do. I'm doing all I can do right now.
Back from Dale Earnhardt Jr. at Michael Waltrip.
And you see no sponsor when we look on that onboard camera on Earnhardt Jr. back, because as you can see, folks, there is no sponsor on the 8 car. And my hat's off to Junior and Teresa for coming down to run this race unsponsored, spending their own money.
Brian Vickers in the 5, the blue car to the inside, picking up a spot.
46 is Ashton Lewis. The 92 car is Todd Bodine. The 28 is Brad Baker, and he's a couple of laps down.
Yeah, he's back in 24th place, first car 1 lap down.
At an unscheduled pit stop, unfortunately.
You know, Todd has made some ground up. He's got the 10 of Mr. Rig behind him. How about it, Marty?
Scott's been doing a great job tonight, Wally. Remember, he started last, made his way up to the front, but the car was so loose he couldn't drive it. So they unhooked the rear sway bar. That is a huge adjustment. Takes a lot of time. They lost about 15 positions in the pits, but it has paid off. They've come back up through the field. He's now caught that front pack, and they have a car that can pass a few more people, too, before the night's over with.
Before tonight's race started, Scott Riggs had led 45% of the laps in the last 3 races. A couple of victories already this season at Gateway outside St. Louis and at Nashville. And he's come from the back of the field up to the 9th spot. Good night for the second-place man in the NASCAR Busch Series Championship coming in. All right, we're getting down to the final laps. Will Michael Waltrip make a run at Dale Jr.? What about Ron Hornaday? We'll be back for the closing laps at Daytona in just a moment. First time for our Just for Men rejuvenating moment. How about Casey Kane off turn 2 a little while ago?
Fred Wanke's car.
Here at Daytona, we're under caution. There's been a crash in turn 1. Brad Baker involved. And then a secondary crash in which Damon Lusk got tagged and turned around. Both cars have driven away. The accident just happening seconds ago. And this is the third caution, actually third crash of the race as well. And it comes with 13 laps remaining in the event. I just talked about Brad Baker being the first car 1 lap down in 24th place.
And there we can see Brad going up, making contact. Oh, and the 26 car just barely gets by. Here comes the 80 Chase Montgomery.
Wow.
And blasted right in the back of Damon Lusk and caused the 6 car to spin out.
Yeah, Damon had checked up for the wreck, but boy, that 80 car was coming hard. Damon didn't hit anything, but he did a lot of damage to that front valence underneath the front bumper. They're going to have to bang that out. Won't make the car handle too well the way it is right there.
That's too bad. He had a good run going.
One more look. On board with Jason Keller now.
Got another one down low, spinning. Clear low. All right, outside, still outside. Behind the 4, you're clear. Come on. We missed it, guys. Come on, stay with the 4. Caution will be out.
A couple of pit stops under the caution. Greg Biffle is in. Chase Montgomery, Coy Gibbs, David Green, the championship leader, and Joe Nemechek are on pit road.
4 tires on David Green's car. All right, here we are. Just going to be about 10 laps to go when they restart this thing.
We're in a position to have a heck of a shootout here to see who wins the Winn-Dixie.
23 cars on the lead lap.
If we thought it was exciting before 2 and 3 wide, we haven't seen anything yet.
What's sure to be a final frantic scramble to the finish coming up at Daytona. Stick around, they have some holiday fireworks for you. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Daytona International Speedway. Brought to you by Just for Men. More than a hair color, it's the Rejuvenator. Ends gray in 5 minutes, looks natural. By Wendy's late night pickup window, where you can eat great even late. Advil for strong, long-lasting relief. Advance to Advil. And AC Delco Automotive Parts, when the right way is the only way. Coming to the 1 to go signal. Going to be a single file restart for the final sprint to the checkered flag. Let's check on pit road. What are some of the top teams' pit crews thinking?
Well, Alan, I don't know if Kevin Mannion, the crew chief for Dale Earnhardt Jr., has any nails to chew anymore, but what's the strategy for this restart, Kevin?
Well, once again, Michael's working real good with us tonight, you know, somewhat of a teammate. Just Hornaday looks a little antsy, like always, and the 1 car looks real good, so just, I guess, keep them behind us and see what Michael does.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. asked Ty Norris, his spotter, said, tell me when Ron Hornaday goes, and then I'll go. Matt?
Will Lynn, Marty from RCR came down to Michael Waltrip's pit. Now, Bobby, you sent the Sherrills Ford posse out on reconnaissance. Will was here. What did you find out? What's going to happen?
Well, everybody claims they're going to go with us, but you know, I've got deals working to every car back there, but I didn't figure it out. Everybody's lying to me more than I've lied to them. So,
can you go up high, or do you have to stay down low?
Our car can run about anywhere. I mean, we'd like to break away a little bit and just let it be a shootout between us and the 8, but you know, that remains to be seen. You know, everybody's holding their cars pretty close to their chest right now, so it'll be interesting.
Michael Waltrip has finished second at Daytona on 3 separate occasions tonight. He'd like to end that streak and get a win and not finish second again, Dave.
Well, Matt, Jamie McMurray has 2 sets of teammates racing around him. He doesn't have a teammate. John Wolf, what does he do?
Just hopefully somebody help us out a little bit. You know, Jamie's done a great job here. We made a ton of changes this morning. Weren't very happy with that thing at happy hour, and he's done a great job to drive up from 30th. And we'll just have to see if we got any friends at all out there.
One thing they did say to him earlier was the 21, he's not your friend, so don't deal with him.
Now, I think this time Hornaday's got a shot on the restart because he won't be blocked in by those lower cars or those lap cars down on the bottom. So this is the opportunity I think he's waiting for.
And he can lay back and he can really get a good run and not have to worry about the lap cars. But this is a classic example, just like Bobby Kennedy said, the first liar ain't got a chance.
That's right. Yeah, have you ever seen one of these restrictor plate drafting deals that holds up in the final laps?
No.
10-lap rule is what the restart is being held under here. Lead lap cars single file at the head of the field. Pace car is off. 9 laps to go. Watch Hornaday in the blue car. Can he do anything with the front 2?
I think we'll see some blocking here.
Well, so far, Hornaday has not been able to gain an inch, it doesn't appear, on this front 2.
That was a pretty even restart.
Jamie McMurray, Johnny Sauter, the 2 lined up behind Hornaday. McMurray, the independent of the group, as Dave just talked about, without a teammate there. Sauter in the orange and white car is Hornaday's teammate. And of course, Junior and Waltrip, Winston Cup teammates, and sort of a loose affiliation here. They've been pretty dedicated to each other's assistance on these super speedway races.
Since what, about 2001, when Michael Waltrip won the Daytona 500 and Junior pushed him across the line.
Remember at the top of our broadcast, Michael talked about being determined to work with Dale Jr., get the second place, ride with him there for a while, but then he also said, and then find a way to win. It didn't happen on the pit stop.
I think if he pulls out and tries to pass Dale Jr., I think he'll have help. I think the 2 will go with him.
Remember in last July's Pepsi 400, the Winston Cup race, Michael Waltrip was leading, Dale Jr. was behind him, and Jr. in the late laps pulled out to try and pass for the win. He wound up 6th at the checkered flag.
But just how strong is Michael Waltrip's car? I don't think any of us has any idea. We saw him pass Hornaday by himself on the outside. He may have something for Junior.
While we watch this lead group a little farther back, championship leader David Green, who stopped for tires under the caution. He's 21st right now. Scott Riggs, the second place man in points. He's 7th. He did not get under this yellow. And that second group's getting a little wild as they thrash for some positions in these closing laps. That's Todd O'Ryan in the 92 there. Being chased. And we go back up front to the leaders as they come to 6 laps to go.
Yeah, this group of cars behind the top 6 or 7 cars, they'll be lucky to get to the checkered flag without somebody crashing.
Ashton Lewis there with the block.
Ooh, that was close.
Pops out of line in this lead group. Scott Riggs fills the hole to his outside in the yellow car. That's not going to work out for either one of them.
And Hornaday lost a spot. Jamie McMurray has gone to 3rd spot. McMurray quick in that dodge.
As these guys behind are running side by side, these other guys are losing help. because they'll probably lose this pack of 5 cars right now.
We were all watching this second group bouncing off each other, going off into turn 1.
And that time by Joey Clanton in the 27 car, who's currently running in the 11th position, and Greg Biffle bounced off each other to start-finish line.
5-car lead group. Earnhardt Jr., Michael Waltrip, Jamie McMurray, Ron Hornaday, and now Johnny Sauter.
And Vickers and Riggs tried to make that move, what, 1 lap ago? Yep. And now they're about a second behind this top 5 cars.
Let's go back and show you how Jamie McMurray got 3rd spot.
Man, he had a great run.
Biffle, trouble off turn 4. What was that you said about the second pack not making it to the checkers?
Well,
Go. Stay low, go.
No caution yet. The caution flag is not out yet. We stay under green. The cars have all driven away. NASCAR talking by radio as I monitor their communications with their spotters in turn 4.
Right now, so we're in good shape.
They say all clear. We stay under green.
Good call.
All right, Michael is backing up a little bit, trying to get a run on Junior. I don't think he wants to wait till the last lap. Here he comes. Oh, Junior comes down the block.
3 laps to go.
Gonna have to lay back
Junior going up the racetrack just a little bit. Michael Waltrip pinned right to the bottom.
If Michael lays back a little bit, these guys see what Michael's doing. They may be able to take a run at him, but that's going to be about the only shot.
One car's got to get right up on Michael for him to get to be able to help him, though.
They all have to do the same thing at the same time.
Yeah. Looking back from Dale Jr.'s car to Michael Waltrip. 2 laps to go now. 5 miles left at Daytona. Ron Hornaday looks inside. McMurray blocks. Waltrip stays in front of all of them. All right, you're Dale Jr. What are you doing? Are you trying to keep Michael from getting too far back and too much of a run, or you're just keeping your foot down? And
I think you're keeping your foot down at this point. You know, Dale Jr. is looking out the rear mirror as much as he is the windshield right now, that's for sure.
And what about Michael?
Yeah, Michael's doing everything he can. I mean, he's got the gas pedal mashed too, but he just doesn't have a shot unless even with the 3 or 4 cars behind him, they can't seem to make a run. I mean, Michael's doing everything he can.
And the white flag is up. Final lap at Daytona.
And Junior just not letting let Michael get right behind him. He keeps moving around on the racetrack. Michael is on the outside of him, inside of him. He can't get a good pull on the 8 car.
Yeah, he's breaking that draft as much as he can.
And the cars behind him just aren't able to push him hard enough to get to Junior. What you got here is a case of the fastest car pulling the pack around. Half a lap to go.
Wasn't that Michael just said, I can't get up to him?
Yeah. Dale Earnhardt Jr. is going to lead every lap on July 4th at Daytona. His 4th consecutive NASCAR Busch Series restrictor plate win and his 3rd in 3 tries this season. Earnhardt Jr. takes the Winn-Dixie 250. Dominant performance tonight, leading all 100 laps.
Where did they get those hats?
Earnhardt Jr. winning here at Daytona in February of 2002, February of 2003, make it 3 out of 4 for him here now as he sweeps the 2003 Busch Series action here. Our mobile command performance of the race. How can you do anything else? Dale Earnhardt Jr. led them all.
every lap, all 100 of them.
Pretty commanding. How about it, Matt?
Kevin Bono-Mannion, this must really feel special to win in such dominating fashion in such a special place.
Yeah, this Daytona is awesome. Dale Jr., he'd race every week here if he could, you know. This is his design, paint scheme car. Really wanted to get a win in this car for him. Want to thank God. Just like to say hi to my wife Tracy at home, my little girl Avery. I'll see you tonight.
He's a brand new father. Tracy gave birth to Avery just a few weeks ago. Now he's got to remember how to get back to victory lane.
Oh, I suspect he'll find it. That flag is being brought out to Dale Jr. And I guess the Pirates of the Caribbean are loose tonight in Daytona. Celebrate at the beach tonight. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has won in Daytona. Post-race coverage when we come back.
Well, now here's a familiar sight, an Earnhardt in victory lane at Daytona as Dale Earnhardt Jr. unstraps his Hutchins device and climbs out of his Dirty Mo Posse number 8 Chevrolet winner in the Busch Series at Daytona. Feeling a shower was coming. Michael tried everything he could behind you. A, were you watching him? And B, how did you keep him behind you?
Well, just had a strong car. Richie Gilmore built a great engine. He knows how to build them to go around this place, that's for sure. And just a great body from the Fab Shop, a DEI, all those guys. I mean, they're the reason that these cars here, run so good here. They're the sole reason. These guys put a good setup underneath it. It's good drive all night long, and just hung in there. You know, I mean, I tried to help Michael when he needed help, and he helped me. But there at the end, it was 1-on-1 or 1-on-43, whatever you want to say.
Explain to us the flag. Is that the new logo for the Dirty Mo Posse?
No, we just wanted to be bad for a night, just be tough. And these guys that are working on this team are all inspired crew members and stuff that have came from other jobs that weren't Sunday jobs. These guys, half of them never even went to the racetrack till we started this team. And it's kind of a developmental program, and I enjoy their energy, so I let them pretty much do whatever they want. And we came up with this paint scheme and everything, and I let them get away with a few things. I was wanting to run the American flag around there since it's the 4th and all, but I guess they didn't have one of them ready. That'd been nice.
Can we see an encore tomorrow night, Junior?
We're going to give it a shot. We got a great car again. Probably better than this one, but the field's a little bit tougher than that one, so we'll just see how it works out. I got a little celebrating to do, and hopefully we'll have more to do tomorrow.
How about that? 3 for 3 in the Busch Series this year for Dale Earnhardt Jr. back in victory lane here at Daytona. Dave Burns.
Well, Marty, taking a look at Michael Waltrip here, I promise you they did not pour a bucket of water on top of him. You are worn out. How hot was that to try to beat Junior?
It was real hot, but the hard part is when you're running second. You're trying to protect your position. You're trying to lay off Junior to try to get a run to see if you got anything at all. And in doing so, you got guys behind you that want to pass you. So it's a lot harder to run second than it is to sit out there and lead, because when you're leading, you only have one agenda, and that's to block everybody off. When you're second or on back, there's a lot of stuff going on. And real proud of Bobby Kennedy, all the team. This DEI power plant, another sweep for Richie Gilmore and the boys back in Mooresville. I'm proud of them. This is the T3 Dream Machine. Aaron's was nice enough to let us run the Terminator paint scheme. I got a Coca-Cola. I'm going to eat me some Oreos. And that's it from pit road.
And hopefully a chance to cool off, because it was a lot of work out there tonight. Matt?
Well, we can't forget about the Ernie Elliott engine program. That helped propel you into a chance to take home that win tonight.
Yeah, at Speedway races, it's always handling and engine, and Ernie has done just a great job. All those guys have, they've improved these Busch motors and our Cup motors all year long, so they're doing their part, and the body shop guys are doing their part. We just have to...
You were doing your part.
Well, tonight we had a pretty good car. It wasn't the best, but it was okay, and proud of the Mikasuki Dodge. Those guys took a pretty bad race car yesterday and made it a really good car, so I'm pretty happy. It's so hard to pass, and I was committed to going with Hornaday, I mean, when it comes to 2 or 3 to go, you just have to do what you can. And I only got 1 extra spot, but just get what you can.
Jamie McMurray comes home third. Now to Dave Burns, the new points leader.
And that is Scott Riggs with a 6th place finish. How about that at a place that is so hard to gain anything, and you were in the middle of the pack all night, you come away the points leader.
Yeah, that was good for us. You know, we had a good car there. We lost the engine, which is very rare with Robert Yates horsepower, and lost the engine there in happy hour yesterday. Didn't get the 13 laps of practice on the car in happy hour, so really didn't know what to do. So we freed it up some, and then we heard everybody complaining about being loose, and we said, well, you know, wonder what it's going to be like. So we still started the race where we wanted to, and everybody on this quick forward did a good job in the pits. We had to tighten up because it did get way loose on us also that first run there, and still worked pretty strong, and just kept working on it, just kept trying to be patient, and you know, watch out for some of those guys who you know you can't race with, and luckily found some great guys I could race with. You know, Ashton Lewis Jr. and my teammate Jason Keller and David Green, all those guys are, you know, class acts, and I worked with them a lot, and we both worked ourselves as close to the front as we could. Coming in there to last and get some tires, it really helped us out a lot. Cars were on the bottom then, and just trying out a couple laps to be able to really see what I could do, but you know, don't know what I have for them, but we had a good solid finish.
All right, we went into the night saying David Green had a tenuous lead. He sure did, and he lost it to this guy, Scott Riggs. Alan?
And let's check those championship standings in the NASCAR Busch Series. 6 drivers, 88 points.
Pretty cool, just 2 points. David Green out of the lead. Hornaday now just 33 back. Great battle.
And the final results from tonight's race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. with his 4th consecutive NASCAR Busch Series restrictor plate win. Michael Waltrip with his 4th second-place finish here at Daytona.
Hey, Joey Clanton survived to come in the 11th spot. Ashton Lewis 12th. Mike Wallace comes back to 13th.
See, David Green wound up 20th. Last car on the lead lap was Damon Lusk in 21st position. From Bobby Hamilton Jr. in 22nd on down. Begin the cars who were a lap or more behind the leaders. 7 drivers failed to finish the race tonight. Average speed about 153.7 miles an hour. 3 caution flags slowed the race for 13 laps. And in the end, Dale Earnhardt Jr. led all 100 and picked up the victory in the Winn-Dixie 250. We're coming back to Daytona after this. NASCAR Busch Series racing from Daytona International Speedway, brought to you by Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. Busch, the proud sponsor of the NASCAR Busch Series. Aaron's Furniture, Electronics, Appliances, and Computers at the guaranteed lowest price. And Sears Craftsman. Craftsman has the right tool for every project. America's #1 tool brand at America's best store. Craftsman at Sears. Can't have an Independence Day celebration without the fireworks. We had them on the racetrack. We've got them now here over the Speedway. And a great crowd on hand here tonight, capping off their Independence Day with the celebration of Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s win and, of course, America's independence in 1776. And it's just the beginning of the great weekend of racing. Tomorrow, it's the Pepsi 400, starting at 7 Eastern Time. A thought on tomorrow night's race?
We're probably going to see a little bit of the same, aren't we, BP?
I mean, after all, it's Daytona. What? Earnhardt and Walter. What else could it be?
I think we're going to see handling come into a little bit more. It looks like there's a lot of guys sliding around, so I think those good handling cars may pay off.
Be exciting to watch, that's for sure. It always is. Winston Cup racing from Daytona tomorrow night. Coverage starts with Discover Card Countdown to Green at 7 o'clock Eastern Time on NBC. Before that, 3 in the afternoon on NBC, our Race to the Championship NASCAR preview show. Hope that you will join us for that. And again, our race coverage begins at 7 Eastern tomorrow night. Next, more Racing Thunder. Tom Cruise in Days of Thunder here on TNT. For Benny Parsons, Wally Dallenbach, Bill Weber, Dave Burns, Marty Snyder, and Matt Yoakum, Alan Bestwick saying so long from Daytona International Speedway. 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon here on NBC for our preview show, the Pepsi 400, starting at 7 Eastern Time. Dale Earnhardt Jr. led them all tonight. He won the Winn-Dixie 250 at the Daytona International Speedway.